Hello friends, as all of us know, there is one important paper of essay in the UPSC Civil Services Mains Examination. And this paper is of 250 marks, is of 3 hours duration, and one has to write essays over 2 topics. One taken each from the 2 sections given in the essay paper. And the point to note here is that many of us don't emphasize over the essay preparations, don't practice writing essays at home, and we end up getting less than 100 marks out of 250 in the overall essay paper. And we lose a chance of getting selected into the final merit list. Even if we get selected, we get a lower rank owing to the lower number got in the essay paper. And if one compares the marks of the essay paper between the toppers and the last rankers, one sees a difference of 40 to 50 marks. The toppers getting in the range of 150, 160 plus, while the last rankers ending up in the range of 100 to 110. So the point to note here is that we need to practice essay writing at home. We need to write a good essay. We should develop a proper approach of writing essays in the examination hall for UPSC. And for this, we need to have a good guidance in the field. So keeping these things in mind, we have come out with 2 videos. And in these 2 videos, we are going to see first the skills checked in the essay writing in UPSC mains examination. And apart from this, we are going to write the introduction, the body, the conclusion, taking one example or taking one topic from the essay paper which was asked this year. So it will help you in understanding as to how to write a better essay, as to how to approach essay writing paper. So in this first video, we are going to see the skills checked in essay writing, and we are going to write the introduction of one of the topics asked in this year's paper. And this topic was, has the non-alignment movement lost its relevance in a multipolar world? And in the subsequent video, which is going to be launched in a couple of days, we are going to write the body and conclusion of this topic itself. And writing in a particular way, one can achieve around 160 marks in the essay paper. So let us have a look, first of all, what skills are checked in UPSC mains examination essay writing. The first skill which is checked is understanding of the topic. So one must read and reread the topic again and again to focus over some core words over which the whole essay topic aligns, one can say. So here are the core words are the non-alignment movement, the relevance, and the multipolar world. The whole essay topic is revolving around these 3 phrases. And this one needs to understand while reading the topic. This is why I say read the topic at least 4 to 5 times before, and take a pencil for marking the phrases, the core areas over which the whole essay topic is aligning. Next, the second crucial point which is checked in the essay paper is the historical background of the topic. And this needs to be written in the introduction part of the essay. So in this topic, one needs to have a historical background of non-alignment movement. One needs to write everything about the NAM movement. One needs to write everything about the multipolar world, the bipolar world. One needs to write everything about the imperialism and colonialism which gave rise to such concepts. And this all has to be written in the introduction part of the essay, which is going to create an impression in the mind of the examiner that the aspirant knows everything about the topic, everything which was in the history about the topic. Next, the third point which is checked is diversified thinking of the aspirant. And in this diversified thinking, one needs to write the essay topic in varied, in diversified areas. For example, in this topic, the non-alignment movement, the relevance, in the relevance point, we have to diversify the areas of relevance. For example, social relevance, for example, political relevance, for example, economic relevance, for example, legal relevance, for example, environmental relevance, for example, international relevance, for example, national relevance. So, of course, the more diversified the thinking is, the approach is, the more marks we get. And this all this we have to write in the body of the essay. And next, the next thing which is checked in the essay paper is the futuristic approach. So in this we have to write the futuristic approach of this topic. So what will be the relevance of non-alignment movement in future? We have to write here, and this has to be written in the conclusion part of the essay. But before that, if the essay is directive in nature, directive means if it is asking a question, one needs to write whether you support the question, support the topic or not. So here the topic is, has the non-alignment movement lost its relevance in a multipolar world? My answer will be no, it has not lost its relevance, and in fact it has increased its relevance. The multipolar world, the rise of new countries, the rise of developing countries has increased the relevance of the non-alignment movement. So in a directive essay, one needs to write that whether one supports the topic or one is against the topic, and we have to write this in the body of the essay. Lastly, the major thing which is checked is the time management skills, as one has to write 2 essays in 3 hours. So time management is of utmost importance in the essay paper. And besides this, in the introduction, body and conclusion, one more thing is checked, and that is lucid and continuous writing with examples and current news. So there should be a continuous writing, that is, there shouldn't be any breaks in between the paragraphs or in the sentences. Apart from that, the aspirant must link it with the examples and the current news, that is, making the essay applied in bent. So these are the skills which are checked in the essay paper. And now let us have a look as to how to write a better introduction of any essay. And the today's topic, has the non-alignment movement lost its relevance in a multipolar world? We are going to have a look as to how to write the best intro part in this topic. So the introduction of this essay can be divided into 5 paragraphs we can say. And each of the paragraphs will be of 50 to 60 words, and 50 words, 60 to 80 words, 60 to 70 words, and 70 to 80 words. And as told earlier, the introduction part is focusing on the historical background. So we can start this topic with the word civilization, as this topic is focusing over the political part of the human societies. Political part means non-alignment movement or bipolar or multipolar world. So we can start as to how the human civilization began. So start with the word civilization or formation of societies amongst the human beings, which gradually developed into full-fledged political systems under the leadership of a king, which was known as monarchy system. And gradually the kings started fighting amongst each other, and they started capturing each other territories. And from here evolved the 2 concepts in the world, and the 2 concepts were of imperialism and colonialism. And basically the monarchical systems, we are talking about European empires out here, because these European empires were the first which expanded outwards into the world, which gave the concepts of imperialism and colonialism to the world history. So, and these 2 concepts had an impact upon the third world countries, and the countries which were colonizing third world countries or which were capturing third world countries or the West European countries, that is UK and France. So one can put all these things in around 50 to 60 words. It is the beginning paragraph of the essay. Next, we can start from the next paragraph, and in this paragraph we will start with that monarchy systems gradually evolved into a democratic republic oblique socialistic political systems via various revolutions. Amongst them, the famous revolutions were French revolutions, American War of Independence, Russian Revolution, etc. And the concept of dominance was the major thing which had evolved in imperialism and colonialism as well, and which remained even after the revolutions occurred. And in these revolutions, we can write around 10 words each on American War of Independence and 10 to 15 words over Russian Revolution as to when did it occur, because these are the two countries which will give rise to Cold War in the post Second World War era. And the again going ahead, the concept of dominance remained, which manifested itself in the two world wars. So this second paragraph we can write it down in around 50 words, in which we'll start with monarchy systems gradually evolved into democratic, republic and socialistic systems, and we can name these revolutions. And the major thing which was there was dominance and racial arrogance, which manifested itself in the two world wars. Next, third paragraph we can start with that the two world wars began with racial arrogance and the concept of dominance, and when the World War II ended, the consequences were, the first consequence was fall of UK and France. These two countries were the two countries which had in fact gave the concepts of imperialism and colonialism. Next, second consequence, the rise of USA and USSR. And these two countries will be leading towards the concept of Cold War. Next, the third consequence, the formation of United Nations Organization. And the last consequence, the independence of third world countries. And yet, apart from these four consequences, the word dominance remained in the political systems. And now only the players changed, the words remained. And the two players which came ahead were the two superpowers, the USA and the USSR. And now the Cold War had begun. Cold War definition we can give here: a war which is not fought actively, but which is fought in various spheres, which is fought in various aspects. And this Cold War had begun, and a bipolar world had resulted because of the Cold War. Bipolar world means a world which is led by two power blocks, one by USA, one by USSR. And we can write that USSR led power bloc was a communist socialist power bloc, while USA led power bloc was the Western capitalist power bloc. So this third paragraph we can write it down in around 60 to 80 words. And mind it, we need to have a continuous flow in the essay. So here we are ending with monarchy systems in the first paragraph, and in the second paragraph we are starting with the monarchy systems. In the second paragraph we are ending with two world wars, and in the third paragraph we are starting with the World War II. And in the third paragraph we are ending with Cold War, and in the fourth paragraph, which we'll write subsequently, we'll start with the concept of non-alignment which arose amongst the third world countries which had got independent. And this arose because of the concept of Cold War and the bipolar world. And in the subsequent 60 to 70 words, we will write the rise of non-alignment. We will write the name of propounders of non-alignment, the famous countries and the famous leaders. We'll also write the formation of non-alignment movement in the 1950s and 1960s. We will also write the aims and objectives of the non-alignment movement, and all this in 70 words around. And this paragraph is a factual paragraph. One needs to focus over especially the aims and objectives, because from here the concept of relevance will come. So the fourth paragraph is going to completely focus over the non-alignment, the topic which has been asked in the essay paper. And subsequently, in the last paragraph of the introduction, we can start with the role of non-alignment movement from 1960s till 1990s. And here the examples are needed. One needs to write the examples where non-alignment movement or NAM played an active role, especially in making some countries independent in Africa, especially in putting the needs, the demands of the developing countries at the global level. So one needs to write some examples. And subsequently, the breakdown of USSR and Soviet Union in late 1980s. And after that, we can write the question mark came over the non-alignment movement, because it was formed only to counter the two power blocks, and now one of the power blocks had broken down. And after that, one can write the new incidents which have shaped the world history from 1990 till 2017 period. And these new incidents include rise of multipolar world, rise in importance of developing world countries, especially China and India. Third consequence, losing sheen of USA in the global politics. And fourth, some miscellaneous topics, example, environmental politics, example, the rise of economic policies, example, the rise of WTO. So we can, in the fifth paragraph, yes, we can focus over that the 1990s till 2017 period, and why has there been a question mark over the non-alignment movement. And we can end the intro part with a sentence that the summits of NAM are not catching attention now of the world leaders, and even the world leaders are skipping the summits. Even from India, the Prime Minister recently skipped the summit of NAM, and only the Vice President was sent out there. So in the intro part, there has to be 5 paragraphs to discuss this topic. And the whole introduction part will be of around 400 words maximum. It has to be in the range of 350 to 400 words. And next, subsequently, the body of the essay will focus over the relevance, that in spite of the rise of new consequences, the NAM is still relevant. And it is relevant in which areas the body of the essay should focus upon: the social relevance, the political relevance, the economic relevance, the environmental relevance, the ecological relevance, the legal relevance, the international relevance, the regional relevance, the local relevance. So we have discussed that in the body of the answer, and this we will do in the next video. So hope you got a better approach regarding how to write the introduction of this essay. Thanks a lot for listening to the video, and we hope you liked the video. Good night.